Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you very much for our panelists for joining us. I have the privilege of representing Hampton Roads area, so home to a lot of our ship repair businesses and just defense industry in general, large and small businesses. And I hear them time and time again when we do visits, when we have meetings with them about their frustration with our budget process and passing continuing resolutions. And I know that they are disproportionately impacted by these continuing resolutions that we continue to pass. We passed one, and then we passed another, and now we're facing another deadline where we perhaps may pass one that will lead to a full year CR. And as a person who is newer to Congress in my second term, continues to frustrate me as a person who wants to be an advocate for our defense industry, who wants to make sure that you all understand how much money you all have to work with. So, Mr. Fanning, I know you touched on it earlier, but could you, just for the record, tell us what the impact of a full long CR would be for your industry?
A year-long CR is particularly disruptive, especially if it has limited anomalies. New programs don't start. I mean, I think this is what people don't understand, is that a CR is just saying continue with the last year's plan. And so if there's a new start baked into it and companies have invested in it all up and down the supply chain, lined up the workforce, lined up the materials, the parts, and get ready to go, it doesn't happen. It's a tremendous financial hit on them. Again, especially on small companies, ones that I think you're talking to in your district, that don't have the cash flow or the access to capital to withstand that type of a delay. And this is what, sort of feeds into having that consistent signal from the government, so that all of that is required to line up to produce what the government needs when it needs it takes place in a way. And it causes not just a disruption in building those supply chains, it causes a disruption in trust. For the companies, large, small, in between, to lean forward and invest, to be ready, because they do that. They want to do that. They're all doing risk and strategy assessments every year. Where am I going to put my money? So hopefully it lines up with what the government needs at that point. And a CR that doesn't have anomalies in it is basically skipping a year for that change, that growth, that increase in quantity orders or what have you. And again, it causes industry to react conservatively to what they're hearing from government, because they've got to see that there is something at the end of their investment.
Thank you very much. Just wanted that to be made very clear. Let's see. So also in my district with ship repair, the ship repair industry that we have there, we are seeing, because of the CR, a lot of them have to lose staff. They are having just to change how they do business. I know we've heard our colleagues talk about the number of ships we don't have in the U.S. Navy right now, so perhaps not enough business for ship repair. We're seeing them do things that are a little bit outside the box, participate in some of the modular build programs, working with Huntington Ingalls, and we have close proximity, so we can build modular components and ship them up the river to Huntington Ingalls. We have a wind turbine project off the coast of Virginia Beach that we're seeing some ship repair even being involved with staging and some manufacturing. So they're trying to do some things, which I applaud them for, to compensate for the budgetary issues that we are facing. But Mr. Paxton, do you see these kind of thinking outside the box options that my local ship repair industry is pursuing as good alternatives to ways that we can just keep that skilled workforce in place so that they don't have to shift around so much?
For sure. We're having a constant internal discussion about commercial ship repair. A lot of your yards down your way, while they do amazing Navy maintenance and modernization, used to have a lot more commercial ship repair work for a lot of reasons. That commercial ship repair has gone overseas. We should be clawing that back and doing more of that. I will say Virginia leads the way, Virginia Ship Repair Association, in educating the local communities down there on the just patriotic jobs that are in our shipyard. So Bill Crow does an amazing job.
They're great. We appreciate them. Mr. Norquist, do you have anything to add on that?
So I was just going to come back to the point you had on CRs. I think there's we have had over 1,900 days, over 1,900 days of CRs in the last 16 years, equivalent to being 5 full years. And each of those is telling defense and companies and the military that whatever you need next, don't do it. Go back to do the things that we would have told you to stop doing. And that becomes incredibly disruptive. And people think, well, they can just do the same as last year. You passed a pay raise. A CR doesn't accommodate the pay raise that you would have to figure. There's a series of changes that this committee and others have voted on to say we need DoD in a different direction. A CR says never mind, do the old plan. I can understand why it's very appealing for China. For us to keep doing these, I don't understand why it's in our interest, and I think it's a real challenge for our membership to have to deal with. I know that you guys are more frustrated than this as much as anybody else, but and the shipbuilding is all a new start, so every one of these is a big setback, and so I'd be very concerned on the effect of a long-term CR.
Thank you. I share your frustration. I'm out of time. I yield back. Thank you.